My name is Josh Lyon and I head up marketing for Tokyo Smoke. Tokyo Smoke is a lifestyle brand for the sophisticated smoker, for the cannabis enthusiast. The real goal with Tokyo Smoke is cannabis normalization. And if you're going to achieve that, you have to speak to people's sensibilities. And for our consumer, design plays a large role in their life. So if we can showcase design in terms of coffee, clothing, housewares, we can translate that to cannabis and use those verticals to actually explain and introduce cannabis to a segment that may not be as familiar with it. Everything we do, whether it's our coffee shops, our digital experience, is centered around cannabis. And unlike a lot of cannabis brands, we speak to consumers throughout their life. So we can interact with consumers daily when they come in to grab their coffee or tea, when they're looking for housewares, where they're looking for coffee-related products, not just with cannabis. So we approach it from a holistic perspective. How can we interact with people through cannabis on a day-to-day basis? Yeah, I think going back to the idea of normalization, part of that journey is taking what consumers are used to, what they love from other verticals, and integrating that into Tokyo Smoke. Small things like the layout of our shop. What do customers see first? How does the retail experience work? How do people shop? We look at that from that perspective as well as digitally. What content do people engage with? From a design perspective, what catches someone's eye? What keeps them coming back? So we look to other industries to showcase to us what might be potentially of interest. Yeah, I think this year we're going to build off of what we did last year. Last year was a lot of establishing the baseline for the cannabis industry and what's going on. We're going to try to personalize it a little more so people can understand how to elevate their legal smoking experience. The cannabis industry as a whole is a good case study for how do you speak to an emerging market, how do you speak to an emerging industry, and how do you educate a customer base who may not be familiar with your product. So while cannabis and tech, when you think about them side by side, might not have a lot in common, tech is introducing a new technology, introducing something that people might not be familiar with, how to use, how it can make your life better, different. I think we're looking at the same thing with cannabis. There's a large community who has immense knowledge, has been using for years, but there's a large group who are just kind of awakening to the cannabis movement and how it can play a role in their life. So I think for other emerging sectors, they can look to what's being done in cannabis as a way to kind of gauge how to educate and how to introduce consumers to a new vertical. We want people to come away understanding the role that cannabis plays in people's life. And that isn't just from I'm done work, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna smoke, vape, whatever it is. It's that cannabis is a medicine, and a lot of people rely on it to live their day-to-day lives, and it's not something that should be stigmatized. And if we're going to treat it like a medicine, there needs to be open and honest conversation. And I really hope we just help foster those discussions. I'm Josh from Tokyo Smoke, and come check out our Trend Safari at Future Festival.